let's talk with Trent in North Carolina. Trent, welcome to the show. How can we help you tonight?
Hey, yeah, thanks for taking my call. And I am a little nervous, so just bear with me if I kind of ramble or anything. You can stop me.
No worries.
Yeah, you're good.
Well, first off, I have actually thought that I might be on the spectrum, and then I confronted my mom like 2 years ago, and she said that she thought that I might have been as well, but she never got me tested, and I haven't really looked into it too much. But I just thought I might mention that. It might be something that I'll look a little bit further into, because a lot of what's been said has been resonating with me as well. But the main reason I'm calling is I have always kind of felt gender dysphoria. I just didn't know that I was feeling it until recently, and it's just kind of grown. And I just a little background. I live in North Carolina, and this is a state that is primarily red, very conservative, and so I don't really have anyone that I can talk to. So that's kind of why I'm calling in.
Absolutely. And I resonate so hard with the idea that as soon as you realize you're feeling gender dysphoria, it gets so much worse. There's a thing. It's almost like if you feel a bug bite and you're like, I'm really itchy for some. Oh, it's a bug bite. Now it's itching a lot, right? And so I guess my question for you is, when you talk about gender dysphoria, what is the direction that it's kind of leading you in? Is it more of I feel non-binary and I don't fit in any box right now? Or is it more of I feel like I should be, say, another binary gender? Where is it leading you right now?
I was born male, but I've never liked being male. I've never really associated with being male. It's just kind of always been something that bothered me. And then my girlfriend, who has been very supportive, we kind of been opening up with each other, and I expressed just a kink that I had about being dressed up as a female, and we explored that, and then it just kind of evolved from there, where I identify more closely to femininity instead of masculinity. But I'm not sure where I'm at. And it was probably 3 months after that I kind of understood what gender dysphoria was, and kind of that's when it all hit me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
This was more than just a kink for you. This is a big piece of your identity. It's kind of how you're seeing it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And looking back, in my past, there's a lot of signs that kind of it seems obvious, but it's you don't have a word for it, and you can't put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So first I want to say, and this might go without saying, but it's worth shouting out anyway, that not every coming out experience is the same. And we kind of place this really one-note narrative, and it might correspond with what you've been feeling, but it might not, where from the age of 3 that you were different and that you should have been a girl, and all of this very concrete, I know what I am and what I need and where I need to go from here and what next steps are. And some people have experienced that, but it's also just as normal to experience this as more of a gradual growth and realization process, and realize, oh, very similar to, again, the conversation we're having today around being on the spectrum. Oh, that's why I did these things. Oh, that's why I was looked at like that. Oh, it all makes sense now. And it can be just as gradual. And whether you know exactly where you want to go, or whether you just know what you don't want, following that innate sense of gender euphoria and gender dysphoria, and things that make you feel like you, and like you're being seen, and like you're being you're finding yourself, right? And the things that make you feel like you're being stifled or maybe covered up, just following that very slowly at your own pace is really the most you should be doing right now. There's no commitment to anything at this point. You can decide tomorrow that it was a kink after all. You can decide tomorrow that, you know what, you're going to go for it. You're all in. This is who you are now. Or you can take the next 5 years just playing around and figuring it out. But I do want to make sure you know there's no timeline here. There's no expectation. And whatever you feel comfortable with is what you should be doing at this point in time.
Yeah, and things don't move just in a straight line. You know, there's plenty of takesies, backsies. If you want to wear a dress today and a suit tomorrow, that is completely your prerogative and perfectly valid, and very uncommon among non-binary folks. So, you know, nothing to be concerned about. If you want to cut your hair, it'll grow back. If you want to grow it out, you can always cut it. These things are perfectly acceptable.
Okay. And yeah, I think that's kind of what I'm struggling with, is like finding that pace, or finding out like where I want to be exactly. And like I said, being, you know, where I am, it kind of makes things a little bit more difficult, because I grew up in a very religious household, Southern Baptist. And I've been an atheist for like about 3 years, maybe 2.5. And I haven't really told anyone in my family, of course. And actually just 1 week ago, I kind of had a mental breakdown and about the gender dysphoria, and didn't know, I didn't have anyone to like call or anything. I called my mom, and she drove all the way down, and I, you know, told her what I was experiencing, and you know, she was supportive and everything, comforting. But then, you know, she's also like, well, you can always look to the Bible for support. And I'm like, no, not really. I haven't told her that I'm an atheist. I'm more nervous about that than gender dysphoria, but that's it's just kind of hard to, when I can't talk about it to, you know, other people, kind of makes it more difficult to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Trent, one of the things that I want to make sure that we offer you today is the online community that Secular Sexuality has built. We have a Discord. We have a Facebook group with people who watch the show and have gone through very similar experiences, usually alongside deconverting from a religion. And we're here every week as well. And if you find yourself in a position where you need to talk to people, unfortunately, COVID makes it difficult to go find real life, like in-person groups, but we're here online and we're available to you no matter where you live. And I know a bunch of people are already eager to talk to you and kind of be there for you.
Okay.
Also,
Great.
one thing,
Yep.
sorry, go ahead.
I know, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing that might be helpful is, instead of trying to look at the big picture and say, where do I want to end up? Because that's a existential crisis nobody needs right now. I would suggest journaling. Just every day, write what you feel like today, right? Some days, I feel very masculine today, and I feel like I'm comfortable in my body today. I don't have to worry about yesterday, don't have to worry about tomorrow. What are you feeling today? and only focus on that one day and doing what feels right for you in the moment. And then maybe when you're ready, go back and read through and say, oh, 2/3 of the time I felt very femme, like I felt very feminine, and half that time I put on a little makeup or maybe a little bit of a like ladies' underwear or something, and I started playing around in that space. So maybe that's telling me something.
Yep. Well said, V. While we work on getting V's connection back together, Trent, I hope that resonates for you. I think that could be a really beautiful practice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I've done journaling in the past for other things, and that's helped in the past. So definitely something I could do here. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I just had one other thing. My girlfriend, who has been very supportive and has been with me, but she's grown up in like the same situation, religious household and everything. And so she just wanted me to ask any suggestions on how, like, she wants to make it feel like more normal, and because she wants to be supportive, but she wants to make it feel like it's normal, where I guess like right now she doesn't feel like it's a normal thing.
Yeah, that sorry, I think I cut out a minute before. Came back and Christy was wrapping up my point for me really neatly. So thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. I think that this is going to be an ongoing conversation, and normal can't happen overnight. The reason things are normal is because we're used to them. That's the only thing that normal means is, oh, this is something I feel comfortable with because I've been exposed to it often enough. So it's not going to feel normal right away. And that's okay. It's not supposed to. And I think as long as you guys are committed to figuring it out together and being open and communicative with each other, it'll start to feel normal. But just like I'm saying about the whole figuring out who you are process, it's useful to take it step by step, and remember that you can do takesies backsies if you want. And it's not a straight line. It's not a line you have to get to in 5 days or 5 years. As long as you guys are okay, and as long as you're taking care of you and your mental health, then this can take as long as it needs to take to feel normal, to feel stable, to get set up in a position where you feel good about who you are, both in the relationship and out of it. I think it can be very exciting in a way, and feel like it's going to reduce the anxiety and the uncertainty by getting to the end, right? And saying, okay, we've got it all figured out. We're all ready to go. This is what we are. And now we just have to get used to this thing. But actually, it is a process of constantly figuring it out and making sure that you're taking enough time to do justice to every step.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you so much for your time, guys. It's made me feel a bit better about everything, talking it out and everything. So I do appreciate it.
Thank you for calling in, and please check out our online groups. And as you continue to have questions and talk with your girlfriend, then call back. Let us know how things go. We want to be there for you, maybe not in person, but at least online.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Thank you so much. You have a great night. Well, that is just a lot to kind of process. And I know that sort of self-acceptance piece is what we're talking about tonight, and like how to, be okay with these various pieces of yourself. But without like preempting you, Miss O, I guess I have to say that it really is a lot to take on, and that it can take some time. And it's okay to go back and, need to rewatch this clip of the episode for our past caller or whatever else, whatever you need to do to process it bit by bit.